Here's Earl. He's going to take this up on the first flight. Quick history on this airplane.
Okay, this is a 1930 SM-7B. Okay. They only built 15 of these, 5 of them, 28, 29, and 30.
Okay.
This particular airplane was built for E.L. Cord. Okay. He owned Stinson. He owned Lycoming. He owned Auburn Cord, Duesenberg. That was his big claim to fame, the automobile companies.
Okay.
And this airplane was built for him. I have pictures of him sitting in it the day he bought it.
Wow.
On June 24th, 1930.
Wow.
The airplane, he only kept it 6 months. He's a very wealthy man, and his wife didn't want him flying airplanes because he had pilots and other airplanes. So he sold it to his best friend and continued to fly it till World War II. So, and they made a trip to Montreal in 1934 with it for the World's Fair, and
Was it grabbed for war time?
Yes, it was. During World War II, it was flown by Western Air Express, which was Western Airlines. In fact, this airplane was in Western Air's Express colors from 1960 to 1980, when it was part of the Morgan Hill Group, the Flying Lady Museum down in San Jose.
This was there?
This was there.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
So we've all seen this airplane at Watsonville and Merced.
Okay.
So that's the same airplane. And this fellow right here, if you look over here, John started this project in 1980.
This is John, this is your plane.
Yeah,
What's your plane? That's John Goodman. We know you from Sacramento City College, don't we? The A&P school down there?
I went there.
Yeah, okay, I remember, yeah.
Yep. John started the project, and
I bought from a Flying Lady.
Okay, you bought it from there. All right, that's the history. It's all right here.
And so 2 years ago, next month, I conned him out of the airplane and kind of won it in a poker game. We did.
I gave it to him.
Basically, yeah, he stole it. Earl don't get nothing unless he steals it from you.
Let's just say I won the toss.
That's his middle name, isn't it?
That's right. Earl the Squirrel.
Yeah, so I spent the last 2 years finishing it. So
beautiful job.
And, I got to give credit to a lot of people. We'll do that at a later date. But
you're running the Lycoming 300 on here?
This particular airplane was originally built with a 985 greaser, which was a 300 horse. And what happened was, in World War II, when Western was operating the airplane, they snuck a 450 on it.
Oh.
And it flew with that 450 until 1980. And then when Morgan Hill got it, they realized it was an illegal installation. So they went back to the FAA and decided to go with the 300 horse Lycoming that it has now. And they completely, with the FAA doing the test flying area, they recertified the airplane with the R680 that it has on it now. The nice thing about the R680, it weighs 5 pounds less with a Hamilton standard prop than the R95 985 weighed with a wooden prop. So it's actually about 160 pounds lighter than so the prop makes up for the difference. And we were able to take the 20 pounds of lead out of the tail. But they legalized it, recertified it in the standard category.
And at today's fuel prices, you're estimating about $1
$1
a mile.
You want to go 10 miles, cost $10.
Wow.
Okay?
And because you're going to be cruising around a little over 100 miles an hour, maybe?
I hope we can go that fast.
We'll find out.
The book says it does 110, but we'll see.
Now it's time for Earl to show us around some of the unique features of this airplane.
Job, or is that the pilot's job?
Then you had to jump inside the airplane and kick it. It's called an inertia starter.
Wow.
So it had that.
Had an inertia starter here on the side originally to start that greaser 985.
Yeah, and then because of the tightness of this thing, you can't run an alternator because there's no room, because the oil tank is 7 gallons and it uses volume for cooling rather than an oil cooler. So you'd have to give up the space for an alternator. We couldn't do that, so we went with the new. That's a 1-wire alternator. You get 1 amp for every 10 miles an hour.
New Redline dual caliper brakes.
This airplane originally had 32-inch by 5 wheels on it with leather brakes, manual leather.
Manual leather brakes. Wow.
But these are Stearman wheels and brakes.
Okay. Retractable landing lights, but check out how they retract. It's mechanical.
In 1930, they didn't have runway lights.
Yeah, they didn't even have runways. That's why you got this oleo gear.
Another cool thing here.
Yeah, the you gotta get the hand crank for your windows.
And anyway, roll up windows.
Explain that trim system to us, Earl.
Okay, watch the tail. The stabilizer.
Okay.
Ask him how come the back windows don't open like they used to.
And so to adjust the trim on this, you use this Tractor Johnson bar.
Yeah.
And you very carefully make sure it's in the notch before you release it.
You make damn sure you don't release it too late or it's going to fly out of your hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
So trim for takeoff, I'll just neutralize it, which it should be about right now. About right there. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, we're going to do the
let
historic
balance
first
it
flight
came
of this aircraft in many, many, many years. How many years has it been since this has flown?
1980.
1980 was
Is
its
when
last
John
flight.
bought it.
And John, you flew it back then in 1980?
It was torn apart. I hauled it home.
Okay, that was the end of the fly in 1980.
Yeah, but this is a brand new airplane.
Yeah.
Every nut, every bolt, every piece of wood. The only original wood in this airplane are the doors. We were able to save the doors.
And the wings. You didn't think
Oh yeah, and the wings. But they were.
I think the wings got 10 pounds of spar varnish on them.
So anyway, but
Good, well let's see this thing go, Earl.
Yep.
All right.
okay.
Camera's rolling. All right, I'm out of here. Get your straps. Brakes.
Clear.
You are clear. All right, he's gonna give it a run test, see what kind of RPM he gets. He's looking for 1800 tails up. She's airborne. Super Cup chase plane. She's up. While Earl's putting a little time on the Stinson Detroiter, let me give you a little background on Earl. Earl started out as an enlisted member on the Martin Marlin naval aircraft back in the late 60s. Earl then went on to get his ratings and began building aircraft. He then got on with Southern Air Transport, flying first as a flight engineer. They discovered Earl could fly pretty good, so pretty quick he was promoted to the right seat of the C-130 for Southern Air Transport and stayed there for an entire career with thousands of hours in the C-130s for Southern Air Transport, and eventually ended up retiring as the captain on the Boeing 747 aircraft. Earl also built 9 Pitts Specials amongst all of his other builds. One of them I owned, 90 Romeo. Earl and I raced for many years up at the Reno National Championship Air Races in the biplane class, and you may remember this aircraft, the Legal Eagle, being flown by Earl for many years against Tom Aberley in the gold class of the Reno National Championship Air Races, biplane class. Now as Earl comes into land, you're going to see that Earl's going to line up between the left side of the runway and the center line, and this is a common tactic in large round engine blind tail draggers, especially side-by-side seating. When you're sitting in the left side, it's easier to maintain your reference to your directional control if you can keep the left edge of the runway in your cross check, because you can't see out ahead of you. Alright, here comes Earl on the first maiden landing of the Stinson Detroiter. A little bit of a quartering crosswind, mostly headwind component. There's the windsock. He's going to go for a wheel landing. Beautiful. Look how tall that thing sits. Piece of cake. Good job, Earl.
What a truck!
You got a muscle that thing?
That thing's worse than a DC-3.
What do you think?
I need a class 1 to keep flying it.
Yeah, why is that?
A class 1 driver, it's a truck.
It's a truck. I was going to tell you, those controls seem awfully stiff, man.
No, actually it flies hands off. It flies really nice.
Good.
It's fun to fly.
It took men to fly airplanes in those days?
Yeah.
It's heavy, you know.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought I was in that old DC-3 I used to fly.
Yeah,
It felt just like a DC-3.
Like a big airship.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nothing happens in a hurry.
Yeah.
But it's stable. Aileron controls are good. We've got it rigged within 1/8 of an inch. It just barely wants to roll to the right.
Good.
And,
good.
No, it's.
RPM good on takeoff and.
No, I only had 1700.
You need some more.
So we got to do some work on that. I came down because my top right valve cover was starting to pump oil a little bit. It's just
Now tell me about that landing gear. Looks like a piece of cake for wheel landings. Just super
man.
greaser, huh?
Oh, it's so.
You
the
can't even
directional
tell.
Control, you can't. You just
Can't even
touch
tell when
down.
you're on the ground.
Yeah, it just I didn't even.
Wow.
No, just.
Excellent.
Yours look nice. The guy in the
all
was doing
all
this.
kidding aside, it's probably the easiest tail dragger I've ever landed.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
But you come over the fence at 75, 80.
Yeah, cruise
and then,
speed.
And then you don't have time to look. But I mean, it just settles down and quits flying.
Nice.
But, it's not a rocket ship by any means.
Yeah, we've noted that on the
I was barely
departure.
holding 500 feet a minute at a time.
It's that draggy old gear.
It's not a pit.
Yeah.
Looked like it took off really good.
No, it was, whoa, with my face.
That's it. Jay Leno, eat your heart out. You missed the scoop on this one. I know you and your crew wanted to come up and get this because this is a Duesenberg Cord automobile aircraft. Blancolirio beat you out. See you here.